What you want to do is you want to work a lot of your muscle mass, and then if you deliver some amino acids or protein near that exercise, you're then going to deliver more of that substance to your muscles, so you'll get more of that made into muscle protein.
So, question about the protein. This is, in my opinion, $1 billion question, because everyone is asking, what is the timing to take the protein when you exercise? Is it really there is a window of 1 or 2 hours? And if you can elaborate on that, I think that there is a lot of confusion.
Yeah, so in young active people, there's not really a window. So even 24 hours later, if I exercise, if when I was 25, if I exercised yesterday, I would still have higher protein synthesis in those muscles that I exercise today. As we get older, if we get to a point where we have more insulin resistance, the need for combining the exercise and the nutrition becomes higher. The way that I explain it is that if I eat something and I'm totally at rest, it's basically, when you eat something, it's a message to the body. But if you eat something and you're resting, the message doesn't have any address. So it's not going to go anywhere specific. So where it'll go to liver, and then it'll store kind of everywhere, mostly into adipose and a little bit into skeletal muscle. If I exercise, even just small amounts of exercise, what I've done is I've put an address on where that protein or where that nutrient is going to go. So what's going to happen is if I exercise, I get a 20-fold increase in blood flow to the working muscle. So now what that means is if I take in any protein or I take in any food, now that blood flow is going to go to that working muscle for a lot longer. You know that if you guys are on college campuses, if you walk past the gym on Friday afternoon, the gym is full on Friday afternoon. It's full of guys. It's full of guys because they know that if they lift weights Friday afternoon, when they go out to the bar on Friday night, their t-shirt's going to be a little bit tighter because there's more blood flow to the muscle and they're going to look bigger and stronger in their t-shirt. That same principle of the increased blood flow for a few hours after exercise is what we're going to take advantage of if we don't have as good of insulin signaling or other things. So if we're insulin resistant, as we get older, we tend to get more insulin resistant. Now, when I exercise, what I'm doing is by eating close to that exercise afterwards, now more of what I just ate is going to go to the muscles that I've just exercised. Okay, so the lab that I'm in here, the guy says that he spent 30 million euros to prove that his mom was right, because basically what he knows is that we are what we eat, because he can give intrinsically labeled protein and see it turn up in the muscle. And then what he knows is that if you exercise, you're more of what you just ate. So what our exercise is doing is it's targeting our amino acids and our proteins or our amino acids to the muscles that were exercised. And so that's why a swimmer is going to have big back muscles and no leg muscles, and a cyclist is going to have the reverse, because what they've done is by training one muscle group specifically, they're delivering more nutrients to that group. If you are an older person and you're trying to compete you're competing against death, basically, what you want to do is you want to work a lot of your muscle mass, and then if you deliver some amino acids or protein near that exercise, you're then going to deliver more of that substance to your muscles, so you'll get more of that made into muscle protein. So the window isn't really in existence in early life if you're active and healthy. It becomes more important as you get older, as you become more insulin resistant.
And then what is the window? Is it 2 hours? Is it 4 hours? Or it's not?
We would try and do something where it's going to be within about an hour if you want to take advantage of the blood flow component.
Okay.
If you're trying to deliver it in a way that's going to be delivered straight to the muscles that you've exercised, the best beneficial time is as close to the exercise as possible. So what we do, and what you're also looking for is something that's easy to digest and absorb. So you don't want to necessarily have a steak right after you exercise. What you want to do is have something that's easy to absorb, easy to digest. And that can be any type of, you could have it as a milk, you could have it as anything that's going to easily get digested and absorbed. And again, that's something that becomes impaired to some degree as we get older.
Okay, that's good to know. And what do you think about the isolated protein? That's necessary, or in your opinion, it's not?
So if you have something like whey protein is just, there's two proteins in milk. There's the casein and the whey. The whey is just the acid soluble. So when we talk about it being easy to digest, the acid soluble gets through the stomach really quickly. Whereas the casein, that's the other protein, it forms the curds. That's basically what it does. And so it doesn't get digested very quickly. So when you're looking at like a whole food protein like milk, it's going to get digested just fine. The whey protein or some isolated protein, maybe a little bit faster. Is it worth the price? Probably not. Probably the whole food, something easy to digest, is just as good.
Thank you so much. That was very beneficial for our audience.